Stop going to the gym. Your health depends on it.
Now, before you shoot us down for the title of this episode, we aren't saying the gym is bad, okay? After all, we spent over a decade working in them. It's the attitude you're going into the gym with that's the issue. So just keep an open mind and let us explain.
Guys, your health depends on your movement, right? Our body contributes to so much more than just like the things that we see, and our physical attributes like strength and endurance. It plays such a major role in our emotional well-being, how well we learn, how effective and enjoyable our relationships are, and that is what we want to bring your attention to today.
So what I want you to ask yourself is think about, do you spend most of your day sitting down? So do you have a desk job? Do you spend, again, driving to work, driving from work, sitting down at work? And do you feel tightness and discomfort in your body most days, or even every day, like I know a lot of our clients have? And does it feel like an effort to sit up, or sorry, to sit down or stand up, or even just generally kind of move around doing your day-to-day activities? Do you feel a lack of energy? And then the main question is do you think, or do you wish it was easy? Do you wish it was easier? If you've answered yes to any of all of these questions, that is a sign that you're not moving enough. Okay, your body is literally telling you that you need to move more.
Yeah, definitely. And I know so many people can relate to that. I know we can on some levels as well, which we'll tell you about in a sec, really. But guys, let's ask you this as well. Do you find that when you move more, you actually have more energy and that your mood is better and you're even more focused? You do, right? That's because you're a human being, right? When you give your body what it needs, it gives it back to you in, I would say, like double the return. So it's a win-win in this case scenario. If you've got your body's back, your body has your back, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. And I can relate to all of this, what we're speaking about. And the reason we're speaking about this is I've gone through many years of doing it. When I first started training, I was at kind of that common of us going into the gym, wanting to put on muscle mass, get fitter, look better, but not actually knowing exactly what I was doing or what to do. I was following, again, advice that I'd read online or from people who didn't really know me. So I was doing exercises, I was doing going to the gym, and I was training 6 to 7 times a week, sometimes twice a day. I was literally killing myself in the gym to get the result I was after, and it just wasn't getting where I wanted it to be. I wasn't getting the result I wanted, and I was killing myself. I was fatigued, I was tired, I was in pain all the time. Obviously my movement was very restricted. I had a lot of discomfort in my body, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing because that is what I believed at the time that I needed to do to get the results. And now, well, this was many years ago, like decades ago, but now my training is completely different. The way I train in the gym is very different from how I used to. I used to pump iron a lot. I used to basically lift weights a lot, and that was all I did. But now, when I go to the gym, I focus on training the movement and not the exercise, not the muscle, should I say? Whereas before, I'd go in and day 1 I would train chest. Day 2 I'd do legs. Day 3 would be back. Day 4 arms, or whatever it was. But now I go in training the movements that I want to improve. So I would go in thinking, okay, what do I want to improve? How does my body feel? Okay, I want to improve my rotational ability. I want to improve my bending, my twisting, my lifting. I want to improve these areas, these movements in my body. And by training the movement, I'll train all the muscles that are associated with that movement, if that makes sense. So while concentrating on the movement, the results I get were started to speed up. I started to look the way I wanted to. I started to feel better. I started to feel less pain, less tension, less discomfort. I started to feel more energy. My body used to feel much freer and more able to do stuff because I was training the movement, which is what my body was screaming for many years. And mentally, it was tough to make this change of thinking that I didn't need to train as much. I was slogging in the gym. I didn't need to do that. And now I train probably about a fraction of the time and intensity that I used to, but get a much better result now, because what I'm doing is I'm giving my body what it needs. It's responding well to what it needs. And because of that, less restriction, less pain, more free movement, and much more energy.
So many people will be able to relate to that as well. It's like you forcing yourself to go to the gym, and because you think it's the thing that you should be doing that's good for you, but actually in hindsight it's not necessarily. It depends on what you're doing and what you're focusing on when you are there, which is essential. Listen, for me, I went from being in the gym all day from a work perspective, right, or even just on my feet all the time, regardless of where I was. Even if it wasn't in a gym, I'd be traveling for work, I would be talking to people, I'd be constantly on my feet. And I went from that extreme to sitting down a lot, right? And unfortunately, that was something that definitely impacted the way I worked out. It started to feel less natural for me to move in the way that I used to. And that in turn really created this sense of it being a chore when I did have to go to the gym. And I know for sure some of you can relate to that. And that might sound really weird for somebody that spent so long in the fitness industry, right? But the reality is, if we start to have a relationship with our gym that it is work, or that it is too much effort, or it's so much effort and I'm not seeing enough of a return on it, that can be really disheartening. And for me, I actually lost that connection with why I was training. I lost that connection with my body in terms of like what I felt like it really needed at the time as well. And I kind of lost respect for my body in that sense as well. I wasn't taking myself seriously. And it was only like overcoming that only came when I started to connect with what I really enjoyed doing, and when I connected into feeling into my body again, and so that I could feel healthy and so that I could feel what my body needed. And when I started to build a relationship with it rather than a routine with it, I was able to then feel much healthier, and I'm healthier now than I think I've ever been just from changing that approach.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same. When I connected with my body more and started to actually focus on the feelings I was feeling when I was moving, that's when that was a game changer. Instead of just going from A to B, doing an exercise because it was supposed to be the best exercise you can do.
Exactly.
So again, that connection is vital. And the old school kind of mentality was, when it comes to exercise, is you've got one school of people who think that their body is like fragile, that it can't handle a lot, and that if by doing any type of movement or exercise or any type of intensity they're going to injure themselves. Is because obviously when you look at when you talk to a lot of people and you look at the media and you look at what the advice people give is always saying, be careful of doing this, don't do this because you're going to get injured. And we get that mentality. You'll
be able to recall people, and it might be even you that said it, it's like, I can't go to the gym, like, and they feel intimidated by it because there's such extreme things they don't think they can do or are able to do, and that could prevent somebody from even moving just because they're scared that they won't be able to do something, and that can prevent them from going to a class environment, going into an intimidating gym setting as well, isn't it?
Exactly. So the result of that is they don't move at all, and then it causes obviously even more problems.
It's not okay.
No, and then you've got the other end of the scale when you've got people who haven't done anything and then go into the gym for the first time. It does not just necessarily gym, but it's the kind of most common example that we've seen in now nearly 2 decades is. People go in after not doing anything and then ramp up the intensity crazy quick, and again get injured, experience pain, discomfort, and then we got that whole cycle comes again where they start telling other people, oh yeah, I can't go to the gym anymore, I'm in pain, I'll get injured, I was doing this workout and my body got injured. And then people think, okay, I shouldn't go to the gym because I might get injured too.
That conditioning is getting fueled. And kids witness that.
And it becomes crazy, and that's where that old mentality is you've got those two schools of people, and that's where we're kind of here to tell you that there is a different way to think about things.
Yeah, exactly. Forget about the gym, in a sense.
Yeah.
So guys, listen, if you are holding back on exercise because you're scared of hurting yourself, then it's likely you need to have a more anti-fragile approach, meaning that you need the confidence to be able to work harder in a more effective way in which your body can handle. So you start to train your body so it can handle these things so that you don't fear them anymore.
Yeah. This is what we call conditioning, guys. You condition your body. Like, if anything you do when you start to drive, you don't just get into a car and drive. You learn how to drive. The same way, or like if you want to become a surgeon, you learn a slow process how to become a surgeon. The same thing with your body. You go to the gym, you've got to teach your body how to actually move. Yeah. You've got to condition it so it can take those higher intensities, those more advanced exercises. It's exactly the same. You don't just jump from like 0 to 100. You've got to build up that process, don't you?
Exactly. So if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're somebody that's got this like go hard or go home attitude and it's like you must go and like beast yourself, these are, like, you guys, if this is you need to be doing what John said there. You need to be preparing your body in the right way. If you have already prepared your body, you're super connected and you absolutely love working out, and your body is functioning in the way it's best to, right? And it functioning efficiently in a healthy way, then fantastic. But for the majority of people listening to this, you're probably adopting this mentality of, going to the gym, beasting yourself for 45 minutes or an hour because high intensity is the craze, right? And then you are overdoing it, probably getting injured, feeling exhausted, not getting the results you want, therefore end up either stopping, or you have this yo-yo effect, I feel really motivated, I'm going to go today, and then it stops and it dies down. It's because there's no strategy in place. Right.
And that's exactly what I used to do when I was training 6-7 days a week, and I used to do the same with my clients, which, looking back on it, it makes me cringe. And my method was, again, if you're not crawling out of the gym, you're not working hard enough.
And to be fair, so many trainers still do that, and experience is a wonderful thing, but we'll be honest with you, qualifications for people that are in these positions are not as up to date as they could be. So if you are looking for a trainer or somebody to guide you in this, and actually be there with you in the gym, then ask questions about the approach. Make sure you can see a program, make sure you can see a strategy, make sure they're taking all of what we're talking about into account, and then work with them. If not, you cut them off.
Run away.
Right? Obviously, on the flip side of that, if you want to just learn for yourself what to do, and that, to be honest, is the most effective thing you can ever do for yourself, then reach out to us. I mean, that's John's speciality. He's great at doing that, taking you from 0 to 100 in a way that is healthy and sustainable for you, no matter what your goal is.
Exactly, and the whole point is about finding a sweet spot. Okay, and this is what we're talking about. It took me decades to find my sweet spot because I wasn't even looking for it in the first place. So I'm trying to cut years off of your mistakes by learning from what I did wrong and right, and finding that sweet spot that works for you. And to do this, you've got to understand two things. That we have two things, which is exercise and movement. Okay, exercise is optional. So I'm going to say that again. Exercise is optional. Movement is essential. So the question here is, what is the difference between the two?
Good question. I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys listening will be thinking as well. So basically, guys, exercise is not about smashing out reps and killing yourself at the gym and beasting yourself, as I think you would have gathered now. This method is obviously unenjoyable, unsustainable, and it sucks, right? So basically, exercise is like a modern invention. It's something that we've kind of created that is often deemed as an obligation or as a chore, like I mentioned earlier, and it gives us a way out. It gives us like this get out of jail free card that we literally believe that if we go to the gym 3 times a week, then we're off the hook for what we do with the rest of the time, right? And that's when we start to have this kind of drive that's coming from pain rather than pleasure. It's like if we go slog it out and we hit the gym and we do our gym sessions, then we can go and do whatever we want outside of it. And that is a very quick way to failure. It's a very quick way to not get the results you're looking for. So classic example of this is I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to work really, really hard, and then I'm going to sit on my butt for the rest of the time outside of the gym, right? And I'm not going to move, right? I can go and sit and watch 7 hours of Netflix on the weekend because you went to the gym for an hour in the morning. Doesn't really work that way. No,
it's exactly 3 hours in the gym is not going to make up for 100 and however many hours during the week that you're continuously performing obviously bad or poor movement habits throughout the week. So this is why this is when movement comes in, and movement is ancient. Okay, movement has been was here first. Yep. So think about the days like hunting and gathering, dancing around the fire. Obviously, we don't have that much anymore. We don't have the need to hunt and gather or dance around a fire much.
We can still dance
but we can still
dance
around a fire. Even basically walking. Okay, like running, climbing, swimming, fighting. These are all natural movements that the body is designed for. It's just that back in the day that we didn't have to allocate time to exercise like we do now. It just came naturally as a part of our everyday lives. But the problem is the majority of us, our lives don't revolve around these movements anymore. And our goal is to retrain our body to move more naturally, to introduce these natural movements before we do anything more intense or heavy lifting in the gym, which is going to help you get healthier results. And like what we said, the gym is not bad. It's like what we're talking about here is the average person looking to feel better, look a bit better, have more energy, just feel freer, pain-free.
Confident in their own skin.
Confident in their own skin. Like if you're talking about like sport-specific bodybuilding, stuff like that, that's a different story in terms of intensity. But again, those people build up, they still have a foundation they build from.
You've got to learn those primal movements before they can do that effectively.
Exactly, and it's learning those natural movements and teaching your body how to connect and feeling those sensations and feeling those movements. So when you do go to more intense, complex movements, your body's in a better position to handle it, and again, you reduce your risk of pain and injury, don't you?
Yep, absolutely. For example, I really got back into, I would say, shape, into being connected with my movement and exercise, general health and well-being, to be honest, when I started to connect with my body mindfully. And that was essential for the results that I've seen. Not only do I feel better physique-wise, I feel more confident, I don't have any pain, any niggles or anything now either. And it all comes down for me connecting with my body by using movements like, for me it's Qigong. I love Qigong. But that you can do yoga, you can do Tai Chi, you can literally just learn primal movement patterns that will help you, and it will just help you to connect more effectively. Just walking efficiently, learning to walk efficiently again, presently, knowing and being aware of where your body is can change the game for you. Dancing intuitively, that is also a fantastic way to connect with your body, isn't it? So to achieve that kind of real mind-body connection at last that you can then build upon to do all of those other more intense things that John's just mentioned, you essentially create this like lifetime of movement that you can kind of pull upon, right?
Yeah, for sure. It becomes something your body remembers, and it's just easier to again pull those skills back in again.
And that then serves any goal that you have. It's like it works as this blueprint or as a grounding, so you can then build on top of that. And I would recommend anybody to do that, regardless of your goal right now.
Definitely. Again, you've got to start from the basics, and so if you're train movement, not muscles. And the big question here is also know why you want to move. And this might sound quite simple, but again, we come back. The reason we use the gym setting so much is because this is where we see the most amount of issues and mistakes made when people go to the gym for the first time, or even go back after being injured or being away for some time. There's no why behind what they do. The reason their why is because my trainer told me to do so, or because I read it online or I saw it on YouTube, so I thought I would do it. That's their why.
Or they feel good in the moment, right? So I want to work hard and get sweat on because I feel good after. Yeah, and you do for that period of time because you're getting the chemical drop in your body, you're getting that dopamine hit. But the problem is that doesn't last, and that doesn't lead you to that long-term gratification. So get your head out of the instant gratification mode when it comes to your health, because it doesn't work like that.
No, definitely. And once you know your why, like why are you going to the gym in the first place? Like for me, back in the day, I wanted to get bigger. I was very, very skinny. And my goal was to get bigger. I was tall and skinny, so obviously I want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'd kill myself to try and do that. And I was doing exercises because at that time, based on what I read and what I learned, I thought that these were the best exercises, quote unquote, that were good for building. But now I know there's no such thing as a best exercise.
And you've got to understand, he didn't just read these in magazines, in his qualifications.
Yeah, these are what I learned in my qualifications.
You've done, 3 different personal training qualifications. Yes. Like, so you've got to start thinking, this is not just us talking about a health magazine or something. This is actually being educated and certified and still coming up with that same conclusion. And we know so many people that have experienced that as well. So this is coming from a place of so much experience rather than just the off-the-shelf kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like I say, those personal training qualifications are entry level. It's like passing your driving test. It doesn't make you a good driver. Okay, just like a personal trainer doesn't make them a good personal trainer. It's continuous education and them being open to new ideas and new ways of thinking that makes them a good trainer. Because and that's what the kind of change with me happened, was when I started to realize that there was no right or wrong exercise, good or bad exercise, or best exercise for whatever I was doing. There was only what was right or wrong for me and how my body responds to it. And once I knew why I was doing something, and for me it was about longevity, my goal is every year I want to be healthier and fitter than the year before. So when I'm 90, I can move better and more pain-free compared to when I was in my 20s and 30s. Instead of the goal of I just want to get bigger. Okay, so once my why shifted and I knew what I was doing, and I started to then try out movements that responded well to me, that's when the results came. And that's when the next step is, once you find your why you're doing it, is to find out what movement actually means to you. And after this episode, we want you to reflect on that. Okay, so once you finish listening to us, is reflect and ask yourself, what do you actually enjoy doing? And this is a big question. So many people, I don't enjoy the gym. I find the gym boring.
So, what do you enjoy?
Yeah, what do you enjoy? Find what you enjoy. If you enjoy the gym, great. Go to the gym. Just make sure what you do is aligned with actually what you want. And if you don't like the gym, find something else. Go outside, run, swim, play tennis, play a sport, join a team, whatever it is. And then but you want to find what makes you feel alive and energized. And that's when you know that you found the right movement for you.
I just want to share an example of a client. So literally only last week he sent an update to me because he's on this like maintenance coaching program that we have, and he said like one of the things that he did is he got himself outside a few times during the week, and he went and just climbed trees, right? And he went and climbed trees because at the time it felt really good. It was nice fresh air. He went and climbed trees, and he felt like he had a whole body workout there. Like, so do you know what I mean? He didn't need to go to the gym, right? He did, but he didn't need to.
Yeah.
But he just found that passion and that flow of movement naturally, and he felt incredible for it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it means is once you find that feeling that makes you feel alive and energized, that's your body telling you, I love what you're doing, and keep doing it. Okay. Yeah. When you start feeling fatigued, tired all the time, and you stop you don't enjoy it, that's your body telling you, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not right for me. Regardless of what anyone tells you, these are good exercises for you. They're going to help you do whatever. If your body doesn't feel it, that means it's not right.
Yep.
Okay, you need to find something else. And if you don't know, if you ask yourself these questions and you still don't know, just try something new. The easiest way to find out is actually try, experience it, and feel it. Because when you and it might take it's a trial and error, and it might take a while to find something. But the only way to know what's going to work for you is to actually feel if it's going to work or not.
I want to highlight something that John's mentioned previously in other posts and videos and stuff, which is what's right for you now is going to be different from what is right for you 10 years ago. Definitely. And that's just something that is definitely stuck with me, because it's just so much truth in it. Like the way I used to train when I was 18 is very different from the way that I train now, and that's because not only does my body probably require something different, but mentally and emotionally I'm training for different reasons, and that's something that is really important also to reflect on, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Alright, so guys, movement is about being present, okay? It's about being in the moment, enjoying the moment, being with the moment, being with your body. It's not mind is telling the body they must. It's like, no, we're going to go on this little trip together today, right? and do whatever that movement is going to be. You're not exercising, you're moving, right? What is it you say? Move for movement's sake.
Exactly, move for movement's sake, people. So if you want to master your movements and shift your training to something a bit more worthwhile, then again, book a call with me. Like we discussed in previous videos, we have 30-minute free discovery calls that we offer because it's our chance to contribute and give something back to you guys. So obviously go on our website, book a call, jump on a call with me, and we can start to kind of explore what's kind of going on with your movements, why you're not getting the results you're looking for, and how to kind of connect with your body on a deeper level to start getting the results you want with less than half the effort that you probably have been putting in anyway.
Imagine that. You get more results, less effort.
That's great.
Incredible, right? what a magical component.
Very magical.
All right. So that is it from us today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, we love you. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.